welcome to That Happens. It's not the podcast you signed up for, but hey, we're still here and, we're making it. And that's going to keep going until I get tired of it. I don't know. Why are we doing this, Kevin? Well, I know why you're doing this. You're here anyway.
True. No, we're doing this for the fans.
Yeah, the fans, they're really loving it. We hear your comments. We know this is what you like. This is the version of the show you appreciate. But it's not time to get self-hating. That's every other, hour of my life. But today we actually got a really exciting show. I reached out to these guests and they graciously said yes. So I don't know. You know them from their very funny videos on TikTok, which are like clipped up versions of their live show on YouTube. You know them from their live show on YouTube, and you know them from their videos also on YouTube. Or maybe you've seen their pilot, Skeleton Landlord, on Adult Swim's internet. I should have researched it. I don't know if it actually made it to air, but because they do this, development kind of situation. But sorry, ruining what was otherwise going to be a perfect intro. But the Skeleton Realm is here. That's Sam Wagstaff and Doug Bleichner, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
You got it. Congrats. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So you want to just talk about Skeleton Realm Live a little bit? Like, just kind of get people acquainted with what's going on? Like, what's the show?
Yeah, sure. So Skeleton Realm Live is a live stream that occurs every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on our YouTube, which is Skeleton Realm Live. Sam and I have been making videos now for almost 10 years. We met about 10 years ago, and we started making some sort of sketch comedy, what you might consider traditional sketch comedy style stuff. And over the years, we've always kind of dreamed of doing a talk show. So we finally made it happen this year. And that's what Skeleton Realm Live is. It's an hour long, and we just kind of run through various topics. We sit here on set, and we just have a whole bunch of fun. Sam, how would you describe the show?
Exactly how you described it.
Wow, well, that's easy. We don't have to listen to you describe it. That's fun. So that's basically what it is.
Awesome. Yeah. So I first saw your show on via TikTok clips. I'm, like a lot of people, I'm addicted to TikTok, and I just saw a couple clips of your show, and I don't know, they were really, really eye-catching immediately. Since they're from your live show, they they have a bit more polish than your average, TikTok video. It's not just like someone in their room. It's not like a dance or anything. It's like, oh, this is from something, and then your comedic style and stuff, I think, really just leapt out like immediately. And I was like, holy shit, this is really, really funny. Random can sometimes be used as like a negative, but I think it's like really random and absurdist in a cool way. I think it's just a really interesting, comedic voice. I don't know. Do you guys have like comedy influences or anything?
Yeah, I mean, like the obvious one, probably Tim and Eric, which a lot of people sort of compare us to, which I take as a compliment. We love Tim and Eric. We like a lot of the British stuff. I like a lot of the British stuff. The Look Around You is probably one that we both like.
Oh, yeah.
Brass Eye was one that was made. And they also made another one. The people who did Brass Eye did one called, what was it? The World Today or something like that. Some of that old British stuff. I like, I don't know, BBC, British, Monty Python, the classic. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, Brass Eye, definitely, because we like, well, along with Tim and Eric as well, just, the kind of thinking about television and media and in a dreamy kind of way and following it down a certain path. And we love Brass Eye. We like the current event style, too. We use a lot of over-the-shoulder graphics. So if you were to be a part of our Discord, you could play with the OTS bot that now has over 300 over-the-shoulder graphics that will be randomly posted if you summon it. Doug cooks up all these OTS graphics that are just thrilling. I think I actually have a. Oh yeah, here, because I didn't deprogram from last week, so you can kind of see. Here's a few. So the One Man's Trash. This is when we were going over trash that we found from dumpster diving, and here's a bow wow from a ball of wadded waste. Oh wow, a bow wow. So you can see that kind of thing.
I think the influence from Brass Eye there, I think that if I had to pick something that both of us, it resonates with us comedically the most, is probably Brass Eye. It's an old, if you're not familiar with it, it's an old,
I'm not.
It's an early 2000s British comedy show. It's kind of like it's a fake news show where they put out a series of news specials. And so I think a lot of what we try to do is kind of what this show kind of is a news show. Really, we're giving you the news, broken down into segments, and it's graphically based around these graphics. And I think, I don't know, I've never heard anybody compare us to that. Mostly we get Tim and Eric, which we love, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to be, one of the things that's difficult is I think it's kind of hard to do this type of sort of absurdist comedy without being immediately compared to Tim and Eric. So it kind of gets annoying, the comparison, which I shouldn't say because that's hater fuel. The haters are going to now comment that 10 times more, but I take it as a compliment. I mean, we love that stuff, but there's other stuff too. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Kevin, are you familiar with Brass Eye?
Yes.
What do you like about it, Kevin?
Just kind of the absurdity, the craziness.
Yeah, I feel bad. I wish I had seen it. Obviously, yeah, I would definitely identify some Tim and Eric vibes off your show, but I got the sense that if I were you, I would be like, yeah, I mean, come on. Like honestly, all humor and all internet humor, all modern humor has been heavily impacted by Tim and Eric. It's like postmodern absurdist, and it's like, yeah. But I think one of the things that you guys do really well is it doesn't feel derivative, and it's like it's a really hard needle to thread. I think they do a really good job. I think a big part of what made Tim and Eric work so well is their editing, which was done by like DJ Doug Pound. I don't even know if that was necessarily their initial vision, but I think that really elevated a lot of the material. But like you guys don't have that editing, but like the sensibility of like what kind of specifics and like timing, and also like sometimes you throw to like super absurd things or what do you call it? Like escalations, especially in some of like your YouTube videos. I don't know. I think it's really on the mark in a way that it's so easy for that kind of humor, especially the stuff that is more derivative, to like just go like, this is so random, like this is crazy and wacky for the sake of being crazy and wacky. And I think with your stuff like that's what really stuck out to me on the TikTok videos that really like got me into it. It was like, this is so great. Like I remember one of the earliest things I saw was like Chromehead, which
Cromer.
Cromer. Yeah. Who's playing Cromer? Who's voicing that?
That's I guess we won't give away his specific identity, but he
But it was one of you guys.
Not yeah.
No,
that was one of the few times.
I gotcha.
We have a series of young men who I will call Skeleton Realm contributors, and this is one of those. We call him Don. We'll leave it at that. We call him Don.
Yeah, and
he has a respectable job, and he does not want to be associated with our content.
Yeah,
he will be fired immediately.
Yeah, the thing is that he has a lot of factory experience. So when we wrote up Cromer, we said, speak from your heart, speak from your factory heart, and talk about everything you know and love about working at a factory. And that's what gave Cromer the edge, the realism of his hard work coming through and shining like bright chrome.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that's the kind of thing. It's like it's that level of commitment and like kind of specificity that I think really works. Also, I was watching some of your videos as research and some of your earlier stuff. Like I don't know, I kind of hopped around, but like you had the video of the Orbsman, the history of the Orbsman.
Oh yeah,
and that had that same kind of thing. Like you can imagine a version of that that's like less thought out or something, that's less serious about it. And I think it's I don't know, it's not like that. It's not like half baked. And I think like that level of commitment and stuff, it really, I don't know, it just makes it good where a lot of other stuff falls flat. I don't know what else to say. But so how did you guys meet? Like you guys have been doing videos this whole time on the channel. Like you're kind of the main engines of the Skeleton Realm channel for the entire like YouTube back catalog?
Yeah, so it's 100% just me and Sam. It's always just been the two of us, basically. We met about 10 years ago. We played music together in a band called TV Dinner, which was the live iteration of our friend Stevie Dinner. He put together a live band, and Sam grew up with him. His name's Josh. His actual name is Josh. But that's how we met. We played in that band together, and then we became roommates. And we actually we started Skeleton Realm as a record label originally. So we just put out local Atlanta bands. We helped them really facilitate getting CDs made and stuff like that. And we made some music videos, and then we started making some like very short form promotional content for them. And we realized that like really we rather just make video content because it was like a lot more fun than doing any sort of music business work. So we just kind of leaned into that. And so the Skeleton Realm YouTube channel just became a landing place for basically Sam and I's friendship. Like the funny ideas we had just started landing there. And that was a long time ago. And we didn't throw a lot of effort into it until probably the last year or so, when we started making like that video. You mentioned the Orbsman. And that's when now we've started to kind of cultivate a fan base, because I think we've put a lot more energy into it. But that's how we met. Yeah, we lived together for a while. And what's your version, Sam?
Yeah, we played played a lot of music, all that, but we also the Adult Swim deal was in between those things. So we had the development deal, which we can talk about. But after that didn't end well because of a lot of things, big things that outside forces of nature and so on. But after that, we kind of rallied, Doug and I, and we said, well, let's start making 20, 30 minute, 40, as long as we possibly can, fake history documentaries from Doug's specialty of like the kind of Anglo English type, the Orbsman centric thing. I spearheaded the Larry video about the kind of 1960s stuff. And we started making those. No one was watching them still. Nothing much changed. They were being completely ignored. And then we we completely pivoted and started doing a live stream, and then now we're here right now.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that the live stream is a cool venue for your guys' comedic voice, because I think the same kind of sensibility comes through as it does in like some of your early videos and stuff. But I'd imagine that those take a lot more prep. Like they seem to have a lot of post-production and stuff. And I think it's really great that you can could just come up. I don't know exactly your process, but you can sketch out a few ideas and then talk them out on the show. And I think you get, a lot of what's funny and good about the ideas without having to go through all that like effort and stuff, which lets you just kind of focus on the humor and kind of like making things bigger and kind of like your comedic personas and just like I don't know and then the setup that you guys have with your graphics and your post-production and stuff. I think I don't know, like I think it seems like I don't know. I think about back end a lot of stuff, but like how much effort is this going to be? And it seems like a really clean way to kind of like deliver your ideas. I think that's another thing that's so cool about it. And I mean, we're kind of, implying it, but you guys got to check out Skeleton Realm for sure. Like you guys check out their YouTube and their videos and their live show. It's just really funny. Check out their TikTok if you want to, get a brief taste of what's going on. I think, I don't know, anyone that likes our kind of humor is probably gonna, but our kind of humor is like bad. Like we don't do good jokes. But so yeah, do you want to talk about like the development project? Like, so I watched they have this pitch meeting kind of format on like a YouTube stream or a similar stream that they would do, right? And it seems like you guys already made the whole show before that point, right? So what got you into making that idea, like before even the Adult Swim, and then we can kind of move into the Adult Swim at all, if that's cool.
Yeah. So the idea started probably in like 2015 or 14. We made this video called Dump Daddies on our YouTube, which was a fake reality show about guys who just take trash to the dump. They clear out, old houses, the trash there. And it's like a fake like TLC reality show. And we had a guy shoot it for us who is like a professional in town. He did it for free. He's a really nice guy. Who he also shot the pilot too. But in that video, we made like, in those shows, they'll have the lower third on the screen pops up for like another show, As we were editing Dump Daddies, we made a lower third, and we were just sitting in Sam's bedroom, and we're like, what would be a funny show? And I just popped in my head, Skeleton Landlord. So it became like this inside joke for us. Skeleton Landlord was just this funny show about a skeleton that owns an apartment complex, and that was it. Like there was nothing else to it. So then that idea like wouldn't get out of our heads over years. So we finally just said, screw it. We're gonna tape up a green sheet in Sam's apartment and just make a homemade pilot for this show where we're gonna take basically like Sims 1 buildings and like put people inside them and make it this weird show.
Yeah, that was before we had any plans of selling it, and so and we actually ended up scrapping all of it and restarting. Only because of audio, we recorded the audio very poorly. We had our friend Brandon English kind of be the tenant of the episode. Each episode was going to revolve around a tenant with the skeleton landlord kind of causing these problems and so on. But we had him stand on a little stool and a 2-foot wide green screen behind him, did a terrible key. And we used The Sims 2 as to generate all the backgrounds, which and also in the backgrounds was burned in please activate Windows 10 watermark was burned in. And so for many reasons we scrapped that and started from scratch. Then we got an actual 3D software and started actually making the environments. Yeah, and got our buddies down to
the guy who helped us make Dump Daddies, he's a good friend of ours in town, John Manfredi. He's worked on a lot of cool stuff. Probably that you maybe even have seen. But they work out of this giant building in Atlanta called Encyclomedia, and there's a giant soundstage there. And so he basically allowed us to have we were also working in the building too, because I was doing some like freelance writing work for a business in there, and Sam was doing editing work. So we were just kind of around this big community of people where the resources were essentially free for us to take advantage of, So we went to the studio. We basically just paid for catering and some of the hair and makeup, and we shot the whole thing in 2 days in a big, soundstage. And then we spent the next almost year editing it, getting all the 3D graphics done. And during this entire process, it was never a thought in our head that we would ever try to sell this to anyone. It was literally just for YouTube. It was a video that we just thought would be funny on our YouTube. When it landed on YouTube, it got some notoriety just through the algorithm because people enjoyed it. And it happened to be about 15 minutes. So I went, well, that's the length of an Adult Swim show. Maybe somebody at Adult Swim might want to buy this or do something with it. And so I started looking around how to get emails and how to go in through the traditional route. And I found the Development Meeting Adult Swim pitch show, which was a live stream. Adult Swim used to do all these awesome live streams. It was basically like 24-hour live streaming, and it was incredible. They don't do it anymore. But we just called in and we sent them a clip, and they just immediately liked it, and then they ended up buying it. And it did make it to air. And you can still watch it on HBO Max now.
Nice.
They did give us a development deal. They got us to pay to write another. They paid us to write another script, and then they sort of workshopped it with us for a while. And then ultimately the deal fell through, and they didn't make it into a series. But that was the whole process from beginning to end with that.
And when did that happen?
That was 2020, right?
Okay, so pretty recently. At least.
Yeah. It was like the beginning of 2020. Is I think when we got the definitive no was the beginning of 2020. I think
it seems that way. Yeah, we were into quarantine and.
It was the end. Maybe it was the beginning of 2021.
But it was actually that process. Yeah, the no was because the no came after another year after the first.
So it was early 2021. So it hasn't been that long. It's been about a year and a half since that fell through. So that was the past year and a half has been us kind of being like, well, we didn't get the show. What do we make now? What do we do now? And we kind of thought like, well, let's go back and make another pilot. But then we're like, no, let's just turn the cameras on and just start getting the comedy out, just spraying it out.
Getting excited, as we say.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I mean, that the timing of it makes me think like there was a time, and it was probably around 2021 where, like the Cartoon Network's, what do you call it? Their development was completely changing around, and I think that had something to do with like the flux in HBO Max. And obviously, we know how that kind of turned out, is that they kind of killed a lot of programming and stuff, and took a lot of stuff down. And
all their live streams as well. So they when around the time they told us no, that was like what, a month or two before we heard the no, all of their live streams were killed simultaneously. And so we just were like, okay, this can't be good, but why wouldn't they just email us a quick no? So maybe it's not going to be bad. And but it was. And I mean, all the mergers, these companies were getting rolled up in a big like Play-Doh ball, and many people were
it sounded like from what we heard from them and the people that we were talking to there is that they really did want to make the show. It just kind of like a lot changed with the corporate structure,
right,
and the funding, and we got new streaming and there's a new company. It was a lot that I didn't understand, and I don't know. It was kind of a bummer. It was kind of a bummer more so. It's almost like it would have been less of a bummer if they just didn't like it, because it was like, oh man, we could have had a show, but there's like this massive corporate thing going on that we don't understand. So it was a shame.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I totally know what you mean. Like, I don't know. It's a weird, like, I've been very ancillary in this business. I've mostly just been an assistant, seeing things from the pseudo inside. You're not like inside to the point where you understand what corporate is doing, but you have like enough conversations to kind of understand how the tides shift and stuff. And it's just like, it's a real bummer. Like you were saying, it's like, it would be better if they didn't like it, because it's like, it's weird to put all your hopes and ideas, like I did a show called Harmon Quest, and it was on a streaming service called CISO, and CISO was like this weird IFC kind of streaming knockoff that was put together by, what was it? I think it was AT&T was the parent company. I don't know. And it was like, well, the show's good, but then it's all like everyone was like, but what if CISO dies? Like, what if it's just one of these half-baked fucking, streaming platforms that no one gives a shit about and never goes anywhere, and then they cut it out, and then it's like AT&T. So, they're this massive company that can make money so many different ways. And it's like, maybe they just figured out we could charge like 10 cents more for like text messages or something when they're out of network. And then suddenly that's more money than CISO could ever make in its entire life, Right. And it's at that point, it becomes kind of like, I don't know. I always think of like Greek gods and stuff where it's like, there's politics that are happening in Olympus, and who even knows what? It could be like Zeus stepped on someone's cat, and it's like now all of a sudden it's like this show goes and this show doesn't go and stuff. I don't know. I shouldn't talk too much. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's especially sad if it's happening at a place like Adult Swim to me, because Adult Swim to me was always, and maybe it'll continue to be this way, I don't know, but it's a place where like our type of comedy can live, and it's a place where our type of comedy can get funded by large, deep pockets of money, So I don't know. It's sad to see if like if it is the case that corporate structure changing has eliminated the ability for like, people like us to make funny shows. That's especially sad. Come on. But I will say that whole process, I think, was a blessing in disguise, because it's allowed us to understand something, which is that if we just turn the cameras on and we do this thing ourselves, it's doable, and people like it. We have a small fan base now, but it's growing, and I think it's kind of empowering to be in charge of your own content. I mean, gosh, I love Adult Swim. I love what they do, but you still have to, get things past the executives there if you want to make a show. With this, if we have the stupidest idea ever, it gets said. So we can do any idea we want. We're the boss. So it's fun to be the boss,
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about YouTube in general is like all this kind of new media. It's so direct. You have such a direct access to your audience and stuff, and the experimentation and development process becomes so different than like, oh, we have to pass this to someone and then someone else's boss, and then they're like, I don't think cats are in style in 2022, and it's just like, you don't even, it's all abstracted, and you're so removed from just like, well, what if we just try? Because it's like, at that scale, I guess it's just, you can't just try. It's going to cost millions of dollars or whatever the hell. But it's like, for the creatives, it's a lot better to have this like quick, light, process and stuff. I don't know.
I think also like just getting the bits out is important too. Like, and that's what's great about doing something weekly. We try to aim for like 10 segments on the show a week. And I'm thinking about like, if you have a show and you make 8 episodes and they're all quarter hours, I mean, how much content really is that? And it takes you a full year to do that, and it costs you $1 million. We're doing 10 bits a week. We just getting them out. I think that sharpens your writing skills too. Just to get it out every week. It doesn't matter if the idea isn't perfect. It doesn't matter if it hasn't gone through 5 layers of approval. Get the content out. If you want to write and get it out. And having a show locks you up for a full year. And it's not conducive to more content, and it's not conducive to fine tuning your writing ability. I don't think either.
Yeah, 100%. It's about reps, and you just don't get as many reps.
Getting buff, getting jacked.
It really is, but so what exactly is like your process like, or what was your process? Let's start with like your videos and stuff. Like, how did you come up with ideas? Did you bounce them off each other? Are you writing, or are you improvising back then, with I gotta assume that Orbsman was, written, right? But how does that work?
It's we've been doing this together for so long that there's a pretty seamless gradient back and forth between us, and there is always a start of each one. One of us starts one, and then the other might, like, oftentimes I'll start one and I'm very excited about a concept, and when I turn back around, Doug already wrote it into multiple pages, like carried it all the way to the end. And we go, okay, fantastic. And and sometimes the opposite happens. We also do a zine every month in a PDF, and that's where we can squirt out a lot of textual stuff that might not make great audio video. But for like the Me More TV keynote thing, that was the thing where, I don't know, a lot of the fun times is where, like, for example, that one, I bring that one up because it's like the Nintendo Direct type, almost a parody of the Nintendo Direct, where the guy's just standing in front of a blank background, addressing the camera, like really into it. And he's in a void, a Nintendo void, and he's just like going on and on. And so we got it. I was excited about that. And Doug wasn't very familiar with the reference at all, but then he wrote a bunch of it without being familiar with the reference, and it became this terrible nightmare. That is, I love it so much. It took us a little bit to do. We got a guy, a Fiverr, who is like an Italian guy, maybe, but he doesn't, I don't know, his accent is crazy.
I think to your question, like, the process has changed over the years. I mean, I think originally it was like any other sort of classic style, a couple of guys in the apartment making gags. We would just sit around, we were bored, and we would just make sketch comedy. Now it's more so writing long Google Docs. It's all just occurs on Google Docs. And like what Sam's saying, I think a dynamic that we've encountered a lot is one of us comes up with like a sentence or two and the other one just runs with it. So it's almost like we finish each other's bits. We finish each other's
words,
sandwiches.
Bits. That's right. Yeah, it's something like that. It's a lot of remote collaboration. We actually don't see each other ever except for the show.
Yeah, we see each other once a week,
so
but we just chatting a lot. No.
We chat, we text a lot. But yeah, the Google Docs just start to write themselves. Like the Orbsman was mostly me because I studied history, and it's kind of just a knockoff. Like it's a satire on like these YouTube history guys, which I love a lot of that stuff. It's great. And then like Sam did the assassination of Larry video. That was mostly him. So for those were kind of more, we each went away and wrote one and then came to the other one with it and kind of polished it.
Yeah, with Orbsman, that was exclusively your writing, and at the I think I might have been busy that day, I don't know, but I came in and got to do some drawings of like the guys holding some of the orbs, and others was from archive.org, but we love archive.org, and so we find just a big unseen internet archive, archive.org, and we find folders that are just raw dumps of photos from the 70s or 60s, portraits from specific institutions. And we also like generating assets through AI as well, but a mix of both is the key, I think.
I think that like obviously you're aping that kind of informative history style, and I think that the images that you chose like really sell it, and they also kind of like, I don't know, if you weren't paying close attention, you might be all like, yeah, this is just one of those videos, and I didn't know anything about these orbs,
That was really the goal with that. So I'm glad to hear that, because that was, I think like a lot of what we do, I mean, it's satire, but we're trying to make it so good that it's confusing. And I think that sometimes that's been kind of a downfall for us, because it doesn't get, the algorithm's not very fair to it, because it starts to think that it's actually a real history video, and then the people who watch it click on it thinking it's a real history video, and then they get mad, so they downvote it, and they don't really have the sense of humor. So it's like, I think sometimes when you make content like that, you get kind of screwed over by the algorithm because it doesn't get put in front of the right people. It actually gets put in front of history buffs who they don't like absurdist humor. They like knock jokes. They don't like this kind of stuff.
Historians love knock jokes.
They do.
Is there anything that you've had to adjust, or is that something you think about now? Is stuff like that? Obviously, TikTok is also like really algorithm heavy, and like YouTube. Like I feel like the people that do the best on YouTube like really have some kind of understanding of being able to like surf the algorithm and like make it work for them.
I tried to when we first started doing this show, I didn't know anything about these algorithms. So I just took a while to like really try to figure out how they work. And mainly what I've found is that doing the long form content and then doing the 60-second clips is pretty much all that I can do. We're not going to alter the content, but it's like the length of it and how it gets put in front of people that we do that we will, screw around with. So I found that doing the live show once a week and then every day doing a 60-second clip on all these like scroll up apps is what's worked for us. But
the history videos we started doing out of like, that was like a Doug mandate of like, let's make really big chunks of let's make very long videos for the YouTube algorithm, because
it didn't work
at all. But we made a 3-part series, because the other, actually 4-part, because besides the history of the orbsman, the assassination of Larry, there's also F. Ford 150s built the pyramids. And then there's also the history of the future, where we find a cube, or we talk about how they found a cube in the late 80s that told them about the future. And we love Fiverr too. Speaking of some of our favorite things to source stuff from, we have a favorite voice actor from Fiverr, a British guy who looks just like Patrick Stewart, and he voiced in The Orbsman. Then we had him voice all the other ones too, because we loved it so much. Paul Cassell, yeah, absolutely. Great he would write us back, and he would be reading for example, in the Ford F-150s built the ancient pyramids video. Doug wrote a lot of these journal entries from, I think, a French soldier from like Napoleon's army or something, and he was writing journals about his bowel movements. Just long descriptions of his own bowel movements. We actually got a French guy to read that on Fiverr, but then Paul Cassell would kind of bookend them, and he just added that class, that British VO class.
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely in the Orbsman, I think it really punches through. It's because it's like, okay, I've seen a couple of these guys' videos, and now there's like the most professional sounding British guy reading these quotes that sound real. It's like, how did they pull this together? So that makes a lot of sense. So like in terms of your live show, I really like the tech of it all. Like you've talked about some of the over the shoulder stuff, but like, how do you do that? How did you learn that stuff? Is that, like, I don't know, like what do you use? Like, is it OBS or? Yeah,
we use OBS. So Sam is the tech guy. I know enough, I probably know more than the average person about this equipment, but Sam is really the tech guy, and Sam is a professional editor. That's what he does for a living. So
nice.
A lot of the editing and stuff, I am a student of Sam in Adobe Premiere. Everything that I've learned, the cut downs are probably half and half now, but the ones that really pop, when you see that cut down and it's got that flare, that's a Sam Wagstaff cut down. So props to Sam, but Sam, that would be a question for you, because he's the tech guy.
Yeah. Well, one explanation of that is, I am professional editor now. I don't do any TV or movies right now or anything like that. Mostly just commercial stuff, But we were doing a bit recently. Actually, from last week's show, we did a bit recently where we were talking about forum sigs, and so we were talking about like the classic to the early thousands forum sigs here, and we each made one. So that was a bit we did. And when we were doing that, I went back into, speaking of Internet Archive, I love shouting them out apparently, but the Wayback Machine, I was trying to find my actual old SIGs.
Oh, nice.
And what I discovered was I'd been on forums a very long time, since I was a little boy, and I was working Photoshop. My dad encouraged that too when I was a kid. But anyways, it's self-taught stuff is what I'm saying. I didn't go to
What about
no
the gear?
video school.
I think he's interested in our actual gear.
Yeah. Anyways, but that's all to say is that OBS, you gotta love OBS. It's just such an amazing open source software, and so we have things that we can do, such as this. We're bouncing
one
around.
good camera, though. My camera is the good one, and then we have like what? What are those?
Oh, we have the cheapest piece of crap cameras you can possibly find.
It's pretty much junk. It's just that it's
Yeah.
strung together.
There's
like extension cords and all sorts of stuff.
So this camera is a Panasonic. It's actually pretty good. It's a couple $100 probably. Doug's camera is an actual Blackmagic. That's our one real camera, as we call it. And this one though, this camera is a Sony that you can't even. It has to be open. There's no off button. It has to be open in order to plug in the HDMI, and then its power cord is a USB cable that's dangling from it, permanently dangling. This USB is from it. It's a very strange camera. And then for the wide, we use a Logitech, just one of those classic Logitech, webcams. That's a long, wide oval thing. But this one really angers me because there's no thread on the bottom. There's no thread for a tripod mount. So that really disturbs me, but it's pretty good. So
is there a clamp sort of thing? Like, how sometimes those Logitechs have like the clamp?
Yeah, it's like a clamp. Yeah,
it's got the thing. Yeah. So it's delicately, but if someone sneezed hard enough, it would probably rattle and so on. And we have a fan over there to keep us cool.
A nice fan.
But yeah, it's just OBS, and then this loop deck. We got this for my job. It's kind of broken. One of the buttons broken, so we got this loop deck, which I hate it. I can't stand this thing. The software. Well, I hate the software for it, so that drives me nuts. And there's no real. I think this is a shout out to all people developing streaming interfaces such as this. Please do something affordable that has one of those handles, the crossfade handle.
Yeah.
And it's a little more affordable. This thing shouldn't cost $400. I think that's what they mentioned. Like I said, we got this thing for free because it was half broken. But please make something. And also the other one, the stream one, that's just a box that looks like just a big grid. That's not enough. I don't want just buttons. Anyways, that's my complaints. I guess.
Oh, are you talking about the Stream Deck?
Complaining. Yeah, the Stream Deck.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like incentive for companies to like do a good job making these. Like, I think because the markets they're built for or whatever, I think they're like, well, we could just sell it for a lot of money and then it doesn't work. And then what are they going to do? Like, they're going to complain like to our website, and then we'll be like, oh, it sounds like it's not working. You should get the new one. And then they buy the new one and that just works just as bad. I don't know.
There's, for example, in the Loop Deck software, Doug probably makes 20 over the shoulder graphics every week, sometimes more. And to put them in the Loop Deck, I have to click and delete every single one of the last week's one by one, because you can't select multiple assets in this godforsaken software. It's absolutely terrible. It makes me so angry. But if you want to, I guess, that's how we do it. That's our trick.
That's awesome. I'm just impressed. I don't know. Like, I guess, like, I didn't know that OBS, I guess there's a lot of plugins and stuff, but I didn't know it could do a lot of the stuff you're doing, like some of the transitions of the over the shoulder graphics and stuff. Like,
those are all built in.
Yeah, these are actually slide off the screen. Like, I've never even seen that.
I think
they really look great.
We found this called Swipe. I think it's called Swipe, and we found it inside the settings, probably episode 5 or 6. And I didn't tell Doug. I was keeping it from Doug.
I got
oh my gosh,
dazzled by that tech.
I'll never forget the day that I slid it.
Right? No, that was off air.
Find the what?
The moment that I
it was on air.
Oh wow!
You slid it and you said, "What did that just do?"
Wow!
And I said, "I'm so excited."
I clip that.
Yeah, it was great. So, but yeah, the only thing that's not stock in OBS is the exciting DVD bounce style. Which is just someone wrote up a Python script or two, and we just grabbed it. And I can't shout them out because I don't know what it's called, but some GitHub junk, and we were thrilled about this. This is a pretty recent thing, but the problem is that Doug and I keep overlapping. And that's an algorithmic problem.
I would like it to be square so we could get that perfect corner, insertion.
Maybe
whenever you watch the DVD screen, it happens sometimes.
Have you ever hit the corner?
I think somebody actually
I saw that.
commented on one of the streams and put the timestamp when I hit the corner. But I checked it and I don't know. You know, these things are always up for debate.
They
Can
said
it hit the corner? It's round. How can it hit the corner?
He said almost, because basically if it's going to do 2 bounces, if it actually hits the corner, it's going to do 1 bounce. But every other time it's going to go ba-boom, ba-boom,
ba-boom. Could be so fast. It could be like, the naked eye couldn't catch that bounce. What if we're bouncing at
okay, well, let's find out. I'm sure there's a few Python scripters watching right now, and if you can just give us a line of code to throw in the script that just if one of our boxes does a real corner hit, it just starts maybe a strobe light, confetti.
Maybe the stream just ends if we ever get perfect.
I think it should shut my entire power grid
and then
down.
the show never happens again. That's the end of it.
Yeah. I hope we don't know the odds of this happening. That's the problem, is that we're going into this
right at the
blind.
odds in Python. We could write in the odds being like insane, and if it ever happens,
you want to rig this? You want to rig the whole corner thing?
Okay.
That has to happen organically, otherwise we're going to lose the trust of the viewers completely.
I think that could make sense it would take a lot of coding, I'd imagine. But if you like set it up so it's like, oh, we know which, numbers, if we enter these variables, this one will at some point hit the corner. And then you just like have a random number generator that's like, which one of these which one of these paths are we going to go for? And, one out of 40 is like, but yeah, I don't know. I could think of pseudocode, but who knows how doable it is. But, like in the DVD, like the DVD menu, like the real one, people would always just go like, wait for it to hit the corner. And I swear to God, I don't think it does. I honestly don't think it ever, like, people are like, oh, I saw it once. It's like, no, you didn't. You just make that shit up, or you didn't pay attention. It like definitely hit both sides. Or I don't buy it.
They also likely is that you tend to watch a DVD menu when you're about on loop. About one, it goes to the screensaver and you're just staring at it until 1 a.m. They're probably experiencing really severe sleep paralysis when they see that kind of thing happening. They're probably seeing not just the diamond hitting the corner, but a big 7-foot tall dark figure standing behind their TV as well.
Because you're not usually getting up in the morning, having a cup of coffee and going straight to that DVD screen. It's usually at 2 a.m. Hey, I don't know about you. I'm not waking up going, let me just watch the screen. I'm caffeinated. I'm ready to go.
It's unreliable witness for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But perhaps we can set it to be a oops all berries style thing where we do oops only corners and we're just ping ponging between corners.
Oops only corners. Yeah.
That could be really good. And I especially like, I don't know, this is just me talking about things that delight me, but I especially like the third, you have the, like the QVC kind of turntable. Yeah. And I like that camera is also bouncing around. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
because this is the most kind of impersonal thing we call it, or I guess we don't have a name for it.
It's the Skelly disc.
It's our Skelly disc, our spinner.
Fan named that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He called in and he called it the Skelly disc.
Okay.
So it's called the Skelly
That's
disc.
official. But this is one of our least personal items that is on it. Usually it's a pretty fun, a fun thing that this is cold steel that rings.
We need something better for this. We kind of threw that on there last minute. Sorry.
No, it's good. You had, I think, a piggy bank one time or some sort of pig.
Oh, that
was great. I just love seeing the pig bouncing around.
Yeah. Doug brought that in and he pulled it out of his bag and he said, get a load of this.
I go to Goodwill before the show and buy just items sometimes. That's where the pig came from. I just go to Goodwill and I go, all right, I'm going to spend $1 for the item today.
I wish we need to get wireless headphones because
so
I wish we could go grab the piggies. Right. Yeah. The piggy is so close, but so far. Oh, well.
Yeah. I got wireless headphones, but Kevin got them for me. He sent them for me free. If I had to pay for them, I don't think I'd be rocking these.
Oh, nice.
But, but how did you? So Sam, you also did like the 3D, right? Like, so you would have done the stuff for Skeleton Landlord. I guess if you're not familiar with the show, it's very unique in the sense that, like they said, it was done in front of the green screen, and then the entire set is just like 3D graphics animated. That it sounded like you originally did with The Sims, but the version that I saw, I think it sounded like you yourself crafted all that stuff. And so it's like really unique. It's just a couple guys in like a 3D kind of apartment, and Skeleton Landlord, of course, is a CGI kind of creation. And so it has a very interesting look that's maybe, I don't know, a little bit reminiscent of Xavier Renegade Angel, because that was also kind of like a 3D show.
Yeah, Xavier would have, like, we absolutely love Xavier big time. But the big, ironically, when we first determined we wanted to make a Skeleton Landlord series, we were going to write just like 5-page scripts and do a series of those. But we said, how do we make this effective with time? How can we really spit these out and not have a bunch of sets and props? Well, here we go. We'll just manifest the sets and the props and characters in a computer. Well, that turns out that when we actually got to execution, it took us like a year. It was so insane.
Long because it was only Sam. I did not offer any help on that.
He sat next to me a lot.
I sat next to him a lot and looked at him working, but it took forever because also you're doing it in your free time. Like it wasn't.
It was after work, 9 to 5, and still this stream is also after hours. Our Patreon is very tiny and that kind of thing. So it's always moonlighting. This has always been, but maybe someday will be sunsetting or sun shining or something like that. But we used Cinema 4D briefly. We went into Blender, all those after Sims 2, and we used a lot of Mixamo, basically stock motion capture, and we would just kind of, I don't know, it's a lot like collage because, a little bit I'm definitely an amateur. When we were about to get the deal, I already knew we wanted to get Patrick.
We were going to hire it out. If we got a deal.
Like obviously. Patrick is our friend who's fantastic with 3D. And we were going to be like, oh, well, he'd be our guy, but we never reached that point. But yeah, it was very hodgepodge, just brute forcing. There was this glitch where Skeleton's jaw would just be like crooked like this. And I probably remember me like pulling my hair out, being like, I can't fix this. His jaw is crooked. And it was like a keyframe thing. It sucked. It was driving me nuts.
Yeah. Keyframes, man. They're confusing. Boy. Yeah. I'm just, I don't really do very much editing, but I'm trying to do shitty videos. I do food review videos in my car. They're not good, but they're even worse edited, but a lot of times I just barely know what I'm doing. But I don't know. It's great. No one asks for it, and no one likes it. But so okay. So where did you get the name Skeleton Realm? I think it's a great name. It's really evocative. Is that related to like your bands or anything, or was it kind of like, because it kind of feels a little like a band name or something? So like, where'd that come from even?
There's a video called Peaceful Skeleton Realm Attacked by Helicopter, and I just liked that video a lot. I just really like that video. Really resonated with me on a deep level when I was 19 or whenever it was posted on YouTube. And it's got millions of views. It's got a lot more views than anything we've ever done. It's based off of that. Yes, I stole the name. Yes, it's called Skeleton Realm from someone else's video, but I just really like that video. And also when I named the record label, when we came up with this, it was not serious. This was just such a joke. If I had to do it over again, I might think of a different name.
It's also long. Just
called this Me More TV.
It's hard to make a logo of such a long phrase, to our defense, we'd never intended on making funny 3D videos. We were trying to be a local record label when we named it.
But it is a video called Peaceful. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a pretty popular video. Peaceful Skeleton Realm Attacked by Helicopter. It's basically all these skeleton gifs like spinning in like a lava world, and then a helicopter comes in and it's just these like really terrible CG explosions, and it's like a 25-second video. I think I saw it on like Tumblr like in high school, like way long ago. It was like maybe it was like a 2007 type viral thing or something, I don't know. But it's from that.
And also, I don't know, it's like when you do a username for something, you're not like, oh no, this is a giant branding decision. I think like band names and stuff are like that, and so like a label is the same kind of thing where it's like I'm not thinking about any of that stuff, and names are names. It's all good.
Yeah,
but what kind of music do you guys, or did you guys like? Is you have the same taste in music? Like I'm not a big music guy, but I'm just curious because I don't know, being in a band is pretty interesting.
Yeah, similar tastes. Like I played in a couple different bands. They're kind of post-punk style indie rock bands. I played in a band called Warehouse that was in Atlanta, and I played in a band called Omni for a while. That's also from Atlanta. So post-punk type stuff. The label was kind of a mixture of a lot of different stuff. It was kind of just various local indie Atlanta artists. I guess if you had to choose some like genre for our label, it was kind of synth synth pop though, because a couple of the main bands, one of them Breathers, we actually had Lee on one of our shows once, from Breathers. They're like a super awesome synth pop band from Atlanta. You should check them out. We did some of their music videos, but Sam is a keyboard guy. I'm a drummer. Sam is a keyboard player, a synth guy. He's very good. He can even do classical piano stuff.
Long time ago, yeah.
It's kind of, I guess I'm kind of more rock and roll. I'm kind of more post-punk style, and Sam's kind of more a synthesizer guy.
Doug can sing and play guitar and compose and all that stuff too.
Right.
Him up, he was more of a in your actual professional touring life. You were mostly drummer, but
I was a drummer. I was a hired gun drummer, but I also did solo stuff where I played everything. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like synth pop a lot, so maybe I'll check those guys.
Breathers.
Definitely check out Breathers.
You're gonna love.
Check out Fantasy Guys. You would really like Fantasy Guys. They're one of the old groups on our.
They're more chill and they got a tropical swagger about them.
Yeah, they're great.
So, do you guys like soda?
You might say that we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're a soda guy. I saw you wearing a Dr. Pepper shirt on your Instagram earlier.
Yeah, no, on this podcast, we're not going to do it because usually we don't do it when we have guests, but we try soda on the show.
Nice.
Wow.
Basically, our very first episode, I don't know, I was just on a tear because Mountain Dew Major Melon had just come out, and I was just like, I don't know why, but I was just obsessed with it and talking about it all the time, and my friend Jeff,
Melon?
Yeah, Major Melon. It's melon, watermelon flavored Mountain Dew, if you can believe that.
Wow. I have a question for you. As a soda expert, we had some controversy in some of the comments on our water sucks video. Now, in that video, we're drinking energy beverages. I'm drinking a Monster Ultra, and Sam is drinking a Red Bull. Would you say that those are sodas? Would you say a carbonated energy drink is a soda?
I mean, in a what do you call it? In like a classificational sense, yeah, I think it's like, okay. I don't because it's like, Mountain Dew, it has caffeine, and if you added, I don't know, the vitamin B12 to that, I don't think it would make it less soda, right? But then at the end of the day, it's like, then you just change the dials a little bit and you got like an energy drink, right? So I think so, but like maybe not semantically, spiritually, I would say no, in the sense that at least around here, I don't know what your guys's convenience stores are like, but where I am in LA area, the soda aisles, the soda kind of fridges are shrinking, and like it used to be, there'd be like maybe two kind of fridges for soda, and then get into beer and other stuff, and now it's like you get like about one, and there's like 2 to 3 whole like shelves or whatever, like fridges that are just like energy drink. It's like you get 12 like different kinds of Bang, and you only get like 2 kinds of Mountain Dew, and I'm like a soda guy, I'm not like a big energy drink guy, so I'm like, come on, man, I can't get my weird niche flavors of soda anymore. I can't get like Dr. Pepper Dark Berry because you need the 6th and 7th kind of like Bang energy drink. But it's interesting, it makes me think like, I guess those are really doing well. I don't know,
I think so. I think there's a craze with the energy drinks. Where I come down on this issue is I think it's like, not all sodas are energy drinks, but all energy drinks are sodas. It's like a square rectangle type thing. That's where I would come down. But we had a lot of haters in the comments going, those aren't sodas, those aren't sodas, those aren't sodas.
Yeah, and I mean they're soda carbonated, sure. And are they colas? No, they're not colas.
They're not a cola, but it's a soda. And to your point,
we never said they were.
Yeah, exactly. And to your point, the growth of that sector of the industry, that's going to lead credence to them being adopted as sodas. I think popular culture is going to prove, as history is going to prove, it's going to say these are sodas, and we're going to be right about that.
Yeah.
One, so.
What do you think what was the ad campaign like on Major Melon? Because I'm thinking of a big general, like a melon head.
Yeah, like a lieutenant or General Melon. Is that what it was?
I don't know.
That was what it was. Like, I mean, I didn't see any ads, but like the picture, Kevin might be looking for one. But yeah, the picture on the bottle was just an angry looking watermelon that had, a classic like GI soldier helmet. And so it was really good. When I was talking to my co-host Jeff, he was, he made a joke about that, and I was like, no, look, and I held up the thing, and it's like it's the joke you made, but it's actually that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know.
if I would have been in charge of the advertising for that, I would have taken a watermelon and I would have put the insignia, the metal gold insignia for a major. I would have stuck it on that watermelon and I would have put it in a slick studio and I just would have blown it up. That would have been my.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you could have restaged the Full Metal Jacket sequence, but he's shooting the Major Melon while I think he was on the toilet or something in that scene.
I just I don't know. You know, people like to put food into boxes and argue about it, and it's like that's not what the box is for, man. They're not supposed to like make it so everybody's wrong. They're supposed to like help understand the world, you know. And it's like, yeah, it's a soda. It's carbonated. It's got soda water. I mean, what are we doing here? Are we trying to? Because I don't know. You know, like there's the famous hot dog sandwich thing. It's like I think that's more about people want to just tell other people they're wrong than anything else, you know.
And you're right. You know, food is supposed to bring us together. Food and beverage should be bringing us together, not tearing us apart.
Especially this time of year when food often does just that.
Thanksgiving. Perfect. Exactly.
I know. What bigger waste of life and energy could it be than to argue over the food rather than sit around it and make love through conversation?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I like to do in Thanksgiving is just make love to my grandma in conversation, you know?
Yes, of course.
But do you guys like Thanksgiving? You know, I like the food, but I don't, you know, here's something about me. I don't talk to like my family like at all. Like I'm not cut off per se, but I don't know. I just don't. I'm a fucked up guy. But
where are you originally from? Are you from LA?
Yeah, the general area. Yeah,
okay.
I grew up in a town that's like maybe 30 hours without traffic, or 30 minutes without traffic away from LA.
30 hours is Atlanta, I think, from LA.
Yeah, and 30 hours is just a very understandable distance from a place. It makes perfect sense to refer to a place. Oh, it's just 30 hours away.
30 hours by ship.
Go ahead.
We love Thanksgiving. That's the absolute answer. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
But we're doing this Wednesday. We're doing we do a special as in a themed break of format every 10 episodes. So this Wednesday will be episode 30. However, the following episode will be our Thanksgiving episode, the day before Thanksgiving, when everyone else is, you know, going out of town and all the other streams are putting up their little "be back soon" signs. We're going to be there streaming exactly at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, as we always do. And it's going to be a Thanksgiving special. We're going to have a lot of food, costume, and excitement and decorations that spent all our Patreon.
So I'm hoping what my hopes are for that is that a lot of people will be at home with their family, probably the day before Thanksgiving. And I'm hoping you guys click that on in the living room. Show mom and dad, show grandma and grandpa, show uncle and aunt. Click that sucker on and say, look at this. I've been watching this. Look at this. And you can expose your families to our content. That would be tons of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and what, you know, if you're, if politics comes up at the dinner to start arguments, you know, just click on the old remote, put on Skeleton Realm. And I think it'll bring everyone a lot closer together probably, you know, and they'll remember the reason for the season.
It'll get the room real quiet, and that's what you want. You want to click this on, everybody's going to go silent, and they're going to get pale. They're going to go pale.
Oh, yeah. Ears are going to perk up. You're going to be able to hear their food digesting in their body, everyone after the meal, or rumbling if it's before the meal. And I say you do it throughout the meal, before and after and throughout the meal. Keep everyone quiet. And they can have your grandma just join a Discord and call in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can you join the Discord without the Patreon, or is that a Patreon benefit?
No, you can join without Patreon. If you're in the Patreon, you get some Discord perks. There's a private channel for the highest Patreon, and then you know we have the color of your name changes if you get on different levels. But no, you can join the Discord, and it's a lot of fun. We chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you got a nice chat in the YouTube. You have some on your live show. You have some nice back and forth, and you do polls and stuff. But I don't know, man. I just want to talk about food more. I'm a big fat guy. I love fucking food. But is there anything Thanksgiving style that's like traditional in your families? Something that's like you're like looking forward to, or something you don't like? You know, either way, I just love Thanksgiving food so much. I'm just thinking about it.
In my family, we do a classic mac and cheese. We do a classic Southern style mac and cheese. I'm from the South, so we have a lot of that classic Southern style stuff. And actually, I don't know if you saw in a couple episodes ago, we talked about a group called Hammers.
Oh, yes.
These are people who exclusively eat ham on Thanksgiving. Well, there's a bit of truth to that. It's 100% true, all of that. But I will say also, if I'm going out of character, I love to eat ham, and I basically exclusively eat ham on Thanksgiving. I'm not a turkey person. I don't like how dry that stuff is. It's just so dry. I never understand when you roll up to Thanksgiving and they've got a bird that's the size of a freaking truck sitting on the plate there, and you start tearing into it, and it's like you're eating wood chips.
And you know what the response? Everyone's response is, "Oh, well, you gotta smoke it and brine it.
Yeah,
you gotta brine it for 24 days. You gotta smoke it for another 24 days, and you gotta cover.
Or I just go classic style. I got a honey baked ham. I pop it in the oven, and that sucker is wet when it comes out.
And you get some spicy mustard, and you can rip off the ham. First off, the ham is often sliced already. You can just peel it off.
Spiral cut.
Spiral cut, exactly.
One of the greatest inventions of American history.
Instead of best thing since sliced bread, they should say best thing since a spiral cut honey baked ham fresh out of the oven. That should be the phrase.
Easier to remember.
Yeah,
and you dip it in spicy mustard, and you eat it. And then the turkey. I did get a turkey from some famous Decatur. We're in Atlanta. That's been mentioned already, but Decatur, your neck of the woods, got a turkey last year. Just bought it because my family's coming and I didn't want to cook it, and that was smoked. It was basically when people say, "Oh, you got to try turkey this way." That was it. Guess what? Not as good as ham.
Yeah,
I agree.
Where do you?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. When you were talking about the hammers, I was getting a little worried, like on the show, because I was like, I really like a ham. And okay, so I have done the brine, the 24-hour brine. Doesn't help. It doesn't save the turkey. I think smoking does actually make it like I see why people can eat this. And I've had one time a fried turkey, and I think fried turkey works pretty well. But it's just the base flavor of a turkey. Just I don't think it compares to like a honey baked ham. I don't know. There's just like it's bursting with flavor, and like you say, it's just sopping wet.
It's wet.
The source of it. The turkey's like the leanest bird in the book.
Right.
Like, why don't we get a goose? I think goose
is the fattest hog on the ranch.
I know. Come on. I mean, it's just there's no contest. We should be eating ducks for small families or geese for big families, because those are some of the fattiest birds. And get the turkey out of your mind. Let it roam.
It's big turkey. It's the big turkey industry has tricked us into
dieting.
Making
it's all this
their money.
Health stuff.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they've been doing. I don't know.
No, ever since the old days.
One of the remedies a lot of people would say is, I can hear the haters typing away right now. They're saying, pour gravy all over it. Pour gravy. Well, to me, it doesn't even help, because what you're doing is pouring gravy all over a dry turkey. Then I just have dry turkey bits covered in gravy.
Yeah, it
doesn't change the meat itself.
Talk about poor gravy. I say, oh no, what poor gravy to be lathered all over this turkey. You should put. I know, isn't it good?
Yeah.
And why don't you take a Hawaiian roll and rip it in half, and you throw shredded. I mean, leftover turkey is special. Like the next day, it is a little bit better. But you're going to need mayonnaise. You're gonna need gravy. You're gonna need a lot of things to fix it. All you're doing is fixing turkey. The cooking should not be an act of fixing.
Yes,
should not be
right.
repair.
You're not saving it. Yeah. It's like, no, let's start with something good. And I know, like, I don't know. You see the turkey legs at like Disneyland and like Renaissance fairs and stuff. All that's because like it's really cheap and they can charge like an obscene amount of money. So I wager that perhaps that turkeys in general are like that, just in mass. It's like we could sell this for like $40-$50. And it's like, it costs us like $5 to get a turkey like this, and so maybe it's just like, you got to have the turkey, and it's like, it's a whole marketing thing. I don't fucking know.
When you drive around our neck of the woods, when you drive from Atlanta to Tennessee, you're going to see turkeys wandering around aimlessly all the time.
And they're free.
They're free, yeah.
Right.
They're nobody's turkeys. They're wild, and so
they're sovereign citizens.
They grow.
They don't have driver's license.
You can kidnap them if you want, but they're that easy to get. They're that unwanted. They're that undesirable.
Yeah.
Right. No one will notice if they're gone.
You're never going to see a pig roaming around without an owner. You're going to see
be on a leash.
You're going to see someone stapling lost pig signs all over the place.
That's
not the other way.
Yeah, exactly. So we do a show, or we do a segment on the show that's called what the fuck is this segment called? It's What's Kevin's Deal? You got the What's Kevin's Deal music, Kevin?
Ooh,
I didn't set this up. All right, and as always, our music is done by Gastonod. But Kevin is an international man of mystery. I mean, you could tell. I don't know if you're in gallery view, but if you are, you could see him up there. Can't get a read on him. He's actually a really interesting guy, and maybe that's a clue. But a lot of times he'll say stuff. He texted me just today or the other day, I don't know which, about he was at a freaking place. There was Skeksis all over the place. I'm like, Kevin, you're fucking lying. Like, he texts me shit that, like, I know it's telling the truth. He's telling the truth, but if I didn't know that, I would just be like, Kevin, you're just lying. You're just bullshitting. But he's a hard guy to pin down. And so we like to have the guests try and guess what Kevin's deal is just by looking at him. He's said a couple things during the show. You probably have a good read on his personality, his vibe, his background. And so we just kind of take turns guessing what Kevin's deal is. If you need some time or you don't know exactly how it works, I could go first.
Yeah, why don't you go first?
Okay. So, Kevin, is your deal that you've like always wanted to be a roadie for like a big traveling rock band?
I mean, that was a career path I had considered at some point, yes, but that's not really like my goal in life. Like, I went to school for audio engineering, so that was definitely like one of the options I was given, but I kind of felt that wasn't really my thing. You're close, though. You're very close on that one.
Yeah, so our guests, you don't know this, but whenever we play this game, I do a really bad job. Like, I never...
Oh, wow.
This is one of the best guesses I've ever had, I think. So
how do the guests usually do?
They honestly, and no pressure because it doesn't matter, but they honestly are surprisingly insightful. Like, they tend to get closer than me, but it sounds like I did a pretty good job.
I wish I could see I wish I could see his entire outfit. I wish I could see his bedroom. I wish I could, but I get it. I have to go off just, okay.
Well, wait. Like, Kevin, give us a twirl,
Do a backflip.
I'm wearing a shirt I bought at the Los Angeles airport yesterday.
Okay.
Actually, this morning. I was in LAX this morning and spilled on my shirt, so I had to buy a new shirt.
Clumsy.
Okay, so I don't think that you're from LA.
No.
I think you're from, I want to say that you're from Florida.
No.
Dang.
I would, okay, you play guitar though, that's obvious, right?
No.
Damn.
Sam, what do you think?
Well, the audio, are you from Missouri, first off?
Close. I grew up in Nebraska.
Oh, I was actually gonna say Nebraska.
You get partial credit there.
Wow.
Okay, that counts.
You see, this is what I mean. It's I would never have guessed any of this.
Have you ever purchased and constructed a homebrew harpsichord kit where you build your own homebrew harpsichord out of balsa wood?
No, I can't say that I have. That's a great guess, though. That seems like something I would do.
I was going to say that seems.
Is like that a real thing?
No, I don't know. I hope so. They should.
The mind of Sam Wagstaff. I think that you really are. You're particularly into coffee.
Not really.
I'm not. I'm doing bad.
Doug is missing.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a hard game. Let's be real. It's like it's a really crazy ask, but
and he's not. If you had somebody here who had red lights flashing all over them, that gave me more. But he's just
he's a chameleon.
Guy. He's a good looking guy.
He has this very weird thing behind him. I don't even know what that is.
I was wondering. I think that's. It looks like he has a. I think that's like a security feed to
1970s game show or something.
All this.
It's like one of those like old school, like you saw like in a train station with the little flip letters that would flip down to. It's one of those just displaying colors right now. But yes, it's.
Is that hooked up to a Raspberry Pi or something?
Yes, it is.
Holy shit!
We got the deal, baby.
Yeah, he's a fucking Raspberry Pi guy. Like that's a very specific kind of guy.
He's got sort of some interesting sort of off-brand microphones going on too. We see one in the back there.
It's red,
and then we see the one he's using is a little different too.
It's got red insides. It has human guts on the inside.
This is another guess. I'm thinking Kevin loves to get good deals on microphones, so he's going after some of the lesser-known brands.
See that? That's an organic.
No, this is a Shure. This is like the Elvis. Gosh. This is like the Elvis microphone, where he would like.
That's a Shure.
It. Yep.
Wow. So that cost a pretty penny. So we're gonna say Kevin's a microphone collector.
He's an Elvis fan too.
I'd say
Elvis.
Kevin's a gear guy for sure. He's one of these gear guys.
Yeah.
What's your mic that you're talking into now, Kevin?
Oh, it's a Rode USB. I mean, not USB, but it's a cheapie. Nothing.
It's a cheapie nothing.
I was using this one here before when we first started, but it's so heavy. I just kept knocking it over. It must weigh 5 pounds.
It looks insane.
So I kept knocking it over, and it was kind of pricey. So I figured I wouldn't destroy it.
Yeah, I thought that it was probably just generating too many comments, and you're like, I don't want to be the center of attention.
Then you'd find out my deal.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the what's Kevin's deal. I think we got some interesting insights. I don't know. It's a weird, like I've said before, it's not a good show. Our segments are bad. We don't duel. It's just nonsense. It's not great. But that is what we're doing. I don't know, man. I used to do Harmontown, the podcast, and it just it didn't require too much effort. And so I've just kind of gone with like not doing very much effort. And so I just kind of show up and I don't plan, and it's not great. But what is great is Skeleton Realm. Check them out Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. I don't know. Yeah, but that's basically our time. We're not like, we don't have to get out of here right this second. So you want to talk us through how to join your stuff, how to find you online, what kind of stuff you want from them, and join their Patreon. I mean, I don't know. We get people on that try a lot harder than I do, that actually do good stuff. And I think our audience responds to that. I think they're looking, you watch this show and you end up starving for quality. And I think, hopefully guests can actually deliver that. And I hope people check them out. Their videos, it's really like, I don't know. I feel like I was kind of overselling it almost, but it's just really funny. Like I found it very unique. It's like a breath of fresh air, especially on TikTok, where it's like a lot of stuff. It's not low effort or anything on TikTok. Like, it's not like people are trying really hard, but it's not like, I don't know. It's not you're like, holy shit. Like, what is this? Which is kind of the reaction I had to Skeleton Realm. So yeah. So talk us through what it is. What's up?
Yeah, so like you said, we have a Patreon that you can join. We do a free once a week hour-long live stream on Wednesdays at 8 on our YouTube channel, which is just Skeleton Realm Live. And then we do an additional hour if you get on the Patreon. It's more of a podcast. It's kind of more off the cuff. We kind of just chat for an hour, but we still, we're silly. If you like the live stream, you'll love the podcast too. So that's on our Patreon. You can follow us on TikTok. That's Skeleton Realm. You can follow us on Instagram, Skeleton Realm. You can follow us on Twitter. Guess what? It's also Skeleton Realm. And you can go to our website. It's called skellypedia.org. And it's an entire Wikipedia style website that's devoted to everything we've ever made. And that's real. Go to skellypedia.org, and that's kind of fun. So
it will seem like it's loading for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's not a website,
it's kind of slow.
Just give it 10, 15 seconds. That sucker's going to go.
It's a real wiki page that has dozens of articles on it. So that's,
and
if you subscribe to the top tier Patreon, I make an article for you on Skellypedia. So that's really fun.
That's true.
Oh, nice.
Are they Orbsmen? Do they have articles? They do.
I think I haven't Orbsman one yet, but we've got.
We need to catch up on the Larry lore. Assassination of Larry has articles, but we need to fill out that. There's only several dozen of articles right now, but we need to fill that out some more.
But the Discord is where the community really lives. So join our Discord. You can click a link to that in any of our YouTube videos, and we just chat in there all through the week, and we just have a lot of fun. So Discord's kind of where is where the community lives. So.
Awesome. And you know me, I have a Patreon, whatever, don't worry about it. Check out the country style rib sandwich from Arby's. We haven't really talked about it, but people like the fucking McRib, but the McRib is bullshit. And I'm not saying that to be contrary or whatever. It's just, you have this country style rib sandwich from Arby's and you're like, holy shit, I've been eating the McRib when this is a thing that exists. What is wrong with me? It's really, I would describe it as life-changing because you won't believe fast food can deliver an experience like this. Arby's, we have the meats. And as always, we like to end the show the same way every week. So, as always, goodbye.
Scarpins Avenue.